Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name's Preston and today we're talking about card reveals. And this is our new segment. We're going to go over everything that's been revealed in the last week. We got about 8 cards to get through, mostly OP08 and a few starter deck 14 cards. We're going to jump right into the first one because we got some leaders. This set is shaping out to be quite powerful. A lot of really good leaders came out of this set, so I'm really excited for it so far. Our first one here today is Charlotte Pudding, Purple Yellow Leader, 4 life, 5k power, Big Mom Pirates. When attacking, you may turn the top 2 life cards of your life face up, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck rested. That's pretty crazy. It says the top of your life, so you can only do it once before you have to flip it face down or shuffle them down somehow. But we do have quite a few cards that flip them down, and it is on attack, so it's not an activate main, so you can't do it your first turn anyways. But just looking at this card and thinking about what purple does, I imagine this deck to be very similar to what Red Purple Luffy did when it first came out. Or even Purple Luffy, but really Red Purple Luffy, because it built to ramp quickly to 10 and then try to end the game. So this is going to build to ramp quickly to the Big Moms, 7 and 10. If you can get them both, I don't think anyone would be upset about it. Especially because you're able to gain life and then possibly ramp again. But you have cards like Viola and stuff like that are going to be flipping it down. So you possibly could get this off twice with all of the crazy shenanigans that Yellow have. And honestly, I'm here for it. I'm here for Purple Big Mom Pirates and Big Mom Pirates with ramp to actually help this deck even run faster. And it got a really good art. I'm really happy with what they did with all of the art this set. And speaking of all the art that happened in this set, the one leader that I didn't expect to see anytime soon, this guy here. Calgara, Yellow Leader, 5 life, 5k power, Jaya Sky Island, Shandora Warriors. Dawn ×1, when attacking, put a character with the Shandora Warrior type from your hand into play that costs equal to or less than the number of Dawn you control. Then, if you played a card put the top card of your life into your hand. That's crazy. That is a crazy effect, and I did not expect it. We don't have very many Shandora Warriors, so I'm expecting to see quite a nice bump in the set to fill out the archetype. We have some events. We have like 4 or 5 characters total, so I'm excited to see how they round it out to make it worth it. And I'm assuming we're going to be playing a lot of the normal Yellow stuff in this, adding life so that you can keep playing cards for free. And it just seems like a really interesting Swarm deck that we haven't quite seen yet. And why not be this guy? He'll be interesting, and I think it's nice to put it in yellow. I would have liked to have seen it in any other color than a color that already life regens, because being able to do this with less to worry about, because you know you're going to regain that life anyways, doesn't seem like you're taking as big of a risk as if it was in like blue or something that doesn't have anything to do with life regain. But yeah, that wraps up all of our leaders. We'll probably think about making something to talk about just the leaders soon, just because they're all out. It's hard to talk about leaders without seeing all of the support for them, but the leaders themselves this set have been great. I'm really excited about them taking over the meta, especially because I think we've been in quite a slump through the last few sets, especially since Sakazuki came out. Let's move on to our next card. Jozu, blue character, 6 cost, 7k power, Whitebeard Pirates, 1k counter. On play, you may return one of your characters other than this card to your hand. Return up to 1 cost 6 or lower character to the original owner's hand. That's pretty cool. It does blue stuff. Blue does this quite often. and we shouldn't be surprised when we get stuff like this. This is a double bounce though. It bounces yourself and another card, which means I would love to say Nami finds a place for this, but Nami's been such an interesting deck, and it's barely getting some evolutions now with the Crocodile, that I'm not quite sure. But it has it has a nice power to it, so I could see it hitting Nami. I can't wait to see what it's going to do in the Marco, especially because Marco's going to be playing stuff off the top of your deck. This gives you the ability to play more on-play cards, and it does general blue stuff. Blue does this quite often, so it's nothing new to blue. It's just another one, and it has power. Of course it does. It's Whitebeard Pirates. All of these characters are going to be so strong. Moving on to our next character. Charlotte Custard, yellow character, 2 cost, 3k power, Big Mom Pirates, 1k counter. Activate main once per turn. You may add the top card of your life to your hand. Give up to one of your characters plus 1000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed to see Big Mom Pirates in yellow still. I was hoping that they would all be in purple. We really don't need more yellow Big Mom Pirates, especially with random boring ass effects like this. It is until the end of your opponent's next turn, so it has that feeling that we get from the ones that do this for leader, but I don't imagine this seeing play unless there's a reason for it, like unless we see a power creep that requires your characters to need a little bit more. It is activate main and once per turn, but at a 2 cost and a 3000 power, it's pretty easily removed. In most things that can remove stuff. So yeah, I would have liked to seen this in purple, and I would have liked to see it do anything else, because it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem good in the meta that I've seen. Moving on to the next character. Nitro yellow character, 1 cost, 2k power, Big Mom Pirates, homies, counter 1k. Activate main, you may rest this character, give up to one of your Charlotte Pudding 2000 for the turn. Yeah, this is, again, it follows the same thing as Custard. I'm more disappointed that this is in yellow than anything. And I don't think we even played the other homies at this point. We didn't even play the good ones that gave Big Mom boost. So I don't imagine one that gives your leader or your character, or a Pudding character 2000 for the turn is going to actually see any play. It just seems too slow, generally, especially how the game's played. I imagine we're gonna see Pudding playing a lot of what like Katakuri and Enel play, but with some ramp. So I don't see this finding a spot at the table, which is kind of unfortunate, because we're just getting cards that are going to fill bulk boxes, or as a full collector, just to space in a binder that doesn't see play for a while, because there's going to have to be something significant to get you to play this card. Alright, that's all of our OP08 stuff. We're going to jump straight into the last 3 cards, which are starter deck 14. At this point, I think we're pretty close to wrapping up. In official, we're getting like 2 or 3 a week, but we had a bunch ahead of time. So I think we're just about done with the starter deck 14 stuff, especially with the release date really close. Hercules, black character, 1 cost, 2k power, Oyon Archipelago, 2k counter. Activate main, you may rest this card, give up to one of your black characters with the type Straw Hat Pirates +2 until the end of your opponent's next turn. At the 1 cost, giving a +2 cost to help you get to that 8 that seems to be the standard, and it's for the opponent's next turn, so it kind of is funny because it's going to go against the Navy stuff that is minusing, so it's going to be a little bit harder to KO stuff. It'll be really interesting when we start pumping up 8 cost to 10 to 14 to like higher, so it's really hard to KO really big cards because you're just going to pump them up. But it doesn't seem like there's much advantage other than keeping them from dying, because all they need to be is 8. At 1 cost and 2k power, I can see it sneaking its way in, but I feel like unless OP08 has stuff that supports this, this whole archetype's probably going to be dead until it gets help from a set. There's just not going to be enough cards that I feel are going to be worth playing this leader for. Even the characters are iffy if they're even worth playing in this deck. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not feeling it right now, and I think that's how most starter decks are. You don't really feel it until they get that one thing and you're like, whoa, and I don't think I've seen it yet. Next card. Nico Robin, black character, 6 cost, 7k power, Straw Hat Pirates, 1k counter. On play, or when attacking, if you have an 8 cost or above character on field, choose up to one of your opponent's characters during this turn, minus 5 cost. This was the one that was revealed on the YouTube video. And it's our first Nico Robin that has more than, like, was it 3,000 or 5,000, something like that. This is a strong Nico, and I'm all for it. We should be getting more characters of Nico Robin that are extremely strong. She's a very strong character, especially early on, with one of the most broken double fruits early on. But with that being said, this is a card that fits into everything else. Giving a minus 5 is great, but you can do that with a 1 cost event, right? So doing it every turn on attack just makes it a target to kill faster. But if you're able to get it off a couple times and have a character on board, that's obviously better. But again, there's cards that do this for cheaper in archetypes that are really well played already. So the starter deck's feeling more and more less interesting to me, just not having what it takes. This is a 6 cost so that it easily gets to an 8 with like Hercules or any of the other +2s, so it starts to activate things, but I'm just really not feeling what it's doing. So I really hope that we get something to make it better, and I can almost guarantee it's not this mouthful of a card. Let's read this one out. Stick with me through this one because it's a lot. Gum Gum, Diable 3 stored style, Mountain Jet 600 pound cannon. 2 cost event, Straw Hat Crew. Main, give your leader or up to one of your characters 3,000 power for this turn. Then, if you have a cost 8 or greater character in play, KO up to one of your opponent's cost 2 or less characters. Trigger. If you have a cost 8 or greater character in play, KO up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or lower characters. Okay, so plus power so that you can attack with something big, with a chance most likely only activating when you have an 8 cost, or hoping for it to come out of trigger and the end game to have that 5 or lower KO off the trigger. Yeah, again, it's weird. The card's a mouthful, so it's super fun. 3k power is significant. 2 Dawn for 3k power is better than attaching those Dawn, so that's nice. The KO potential is good, but we're going to need to have more things that you're going to have to play basically older stuff to reduce the cost at this point, because so far only Nico does that. I don't remember any of the other cards that do minuses. It's mostly just been ups, no downs. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this deck, especially because that card could be good. If you can get 8 cost out really easily and you're playing that early and you're KOing a lot and gaining power to attack over the other things, that's not a bad card. It's just everything in the deck doesn't, since we haven't seen it all and we're not sure if we're going to get any of it in OP08 to help, we don't know if it's going to be good. Like if it doesn't get support immediately, I think it sits in a box for a while, because because it just is a new archetype. It's a new thing, so it's not having momentum going into it. But if we get stuff in the set, I can definitely see people playing it because it's the Straw Hat Crew. The one thing that could be interesting is looking at other archetypes, other like colors that have Straw Hat Crew, and seeing if it works with these. Because if it says black Straw Hat Crew, then it really cuts it down to being extremely unuseful. But if it just says Straw Hat Crew, then you can play it in your red-black potential stuff, or anything black and Straw Hat Crew adjacent color. You could see this being more relevant. But the starter deck isn't as exciting as the stuff we got in the set. So we've got all of our leaders. Let me know in the comments down below which leader you're most excited to pick up. I think the last 3 or 4 leaders last 4 leaders I think are really exciting, and I can't wait to see the support that comes out for them. And we'll keep holding our breath for the starter deck and see what happens. But that's all for this week's episode. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you want to get more One Piece TCG content, hit that subscribe. And until next time, peace.